How about it, y'all? You got Hawg, your Southern Diablo 4 resource. Thanks for stopping by. So today we're going to go over how damage works, kind of in a nutshell. Of course, you know Hawg ain't going to break stuff down too technically with math and all that, because I only have 10 fingers and 10 toes, and I went to Georgia public schools. Alright, so first of all, we got to give a huge shout out to Goblin Inc. Okay, this is his video I'm showing right here. This man has done, like, I guess him and his team have done hours and hours and weeks of research and Excel spreadsheets and all kind of stuff to back up the theory that we're going to present to you. It's really nothing new. It's very similar to what we experienced in Diablo 3, Diablo 2, maybe more so 3. What he's showing you right here, which I'm going to let y'all go check out. I encourage y'all to go check out the video for yourself. Watch it a few times so you can understand. He actually proves what he's talking about here. They did multiple test runs during the betas and stuff like that. They got math to prove why they say what they say. That's A+ to me. All the evidence is there.
I got the evidence. Put the evidence in the car. But put the evidence in the car.
Now, it was a little hard to understand. Not because they did a bad job presenting, but just because it's a lot of numbers and a lot of stuff to kind of interpret. So I've spent the last, I don't know, a couple hours sitting here rewatching this and taking my brain food and trying to understand it, and I finally got a good grasp of it. I'm going to simplify it down for layman's terms, and then I highly encourage you, after you watch this and get the basics of how this works, then go over there and watch him, give him a like and subscribe, and then he'll break down the math and everything as to why it works, how it stacks, how it multiplies and adds and divides, and Excel spreadsheets and all that. So that's stuff that Hawg's not super expertise in math. I'll leave that to the guys that figured it out, okay? Fellas over at Goblin Inc., they've come up with this list right here. This is a very valuable tool. I highly recommend you use this. We have this posted over in my Discord. If you need a Discord to run with, a community to join, a clan to join, the House of Hawg, we ain't mild, we wild. The link's in the description below. It is the only way to get into Plebs for Life. That's my clan. We're carrying it over from Diablo 3 into Diablo 4. We'd love to have you in there. We just won't be taking any general game applications. You got to be in the Discord, and there's also a guaranteed way to secure your spot upon launch, so you're not having to fight for, first come, first serve, okay? We've got this posted in our D4 builds area, as well as a bunch of other really good tools. But you basically got all these categories right here, right? These right here are different ways that you can deal damage in a nutshell, layman's terms, okay? Affixes, if you will. But the overall goal is to build your build taking a couple of these colors together, okay? Let me show you what I mean. So you have these buckets right here. In the ugly bright green, you got all damage. In the red, you've got main stat. In the blue, you've got attack speed bonus. In the yellow, you've got critical strike. In the gray, you've got damage versus or damage to. In the orange, you have damage while. In the green, you have damage with. And in the purple, you have vulnerable damage. Alright, so we're going to do a little mock build up here. And I'm going to show you an example of what I mean by these buckets and getting a couple of different affixes into each bucket. Alright, so for this build, we're going to take one with all damage. We're going to take willpower, so we're playing a druid. That's our main stat. Then we're going to take attack speed bonus. We get that from a weapon. We're going to take critical strike damage, and we get lucky and find critical strike damage versus vulnerable. We're going to take damage versus poison, damage while fortified, and damage with earth, and then vulnerable damage. But see, that's an example here of how you can get something in every bucket, and that way all of this is stacking on top of each other, and it's forming a chain. Here I got my chain. It's heavy, it's badass. Right here you got your first chain. That's going to be damage. Then you got willpower on top of that, so now you got damage and willpower. And then you've got attack speed bonus in there. So you start adding these different links in here, and now you got a damn force to be reckoned with. You understand? Versus just stacking a whole bunch of all damage or a whole bunch of willpower. If you just do just that, or if you focus everything on, let's say you do all damage and main stat, attack speed, and then you focus everything else into critical strike damage. Look how short your chain is. Where if you spread some of them points out, or skills or items or aspects, whatever it may be, then you put some into a damage versus, and then a damage while, and then vulnerability, you got a lot more chain to work with, right? So just think about it that way. If you don't like the bucket analogy, you can also use the chain analogy. Either way, they all kind of chain together and they all increase your damage. So one thing I want to point out is in each bucket or chain link, whatever you want to refer to it as, there are either additives or ones that multiply. Okay, can't really say multiplicative, so I'm just going to say the ones that multiply. Some words are hard for me to say. Usually it's items that add and it's skills that multiply. So we got this example here, Stormwalker's Cudgel. It's a unique mace. It actually adds 8% critical strike damage. And then we've got the Petrify skill, and it deals 25x increased critical strike damage, or x 50% critical strike damage. So that's the difference there. One adds and one multiplies. So pay attention to that while they're inside your buckets and you're doing that. Again, highly recommend you go check out Goblin Inc.'s video. He explains it a little bit better as far as how the math works, but that's a simple man's way to think about it inside of each chain or bucket. So not too complicated, but just make sure you're paying attention to that when you're theory crafting or when you're first starting out the game. That will really help you do the massive amounts of damage. I know a lot of people were, kind of wondering, how was he doing all that damage and how was that happening? And my build's not that good. Well, that's why you were missing some links in the chain or some buckets. So take a look at that. Go back and look at your builds. Make sure they're doing this as well. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know in the comments what you're playing for the early access. That's on June 1st, Diablo 4. We got, 8 days, y'all? I'm fiending like a crackhead, man. So all I can do is I know I told everybody don't watch Diablo 4 stuff, but come on, we can't do that, can we? Y'all, if you need a community, I know I keep saying this, make sure to join the Discord. We ain't mild, we wild, baby. If you want to be a Patreon and help support the channel, links in the description below as well. Again, make sure to go check out Goblin TV and hit like and subscribe. Y'all, 63% of y'all that watch my channel, not subscribed. Imagine what my number would look like if y'all subscribed. That'd be really kick-ass if you could do that. Even if you don't really like me, just do it for me. I appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.